further ado, Miss Jennifer Pimentel.
First of all, I gotta get my timer. I learned in the School of Supernatural that you gotta have a timer. Okay, and then let's see. My husband's in the back, gonna give me the 5 minutes on. Okay, so who can tell me, by the way, I'm gonna teach you guys the same way I teach the kids. I'm just gonna pretend that you guys are as fast and as sharp as them. Because I gotta catch you up. We've been teaching this for about 4 weeks, y'all are behind. Alright, who can tell me what a suitcase is for? Because first thing in children's ministry, it shouldn't be quiet. What's a suitcase for? Travel? Okay, can I travel without a suitcase? And look at, they all know. So I'm gonna go over there. You can to carry your stuff? Okay, does that mean that anything I find in my house I should just pack my suitcase with? No, right? Specific things. I've been on a cruise and found out that my hairspray that makes my hair do this, not all hairspray makes my hair do this, was not in my suitcase, and I was going to another country. I was out of luck. You know what happened? I didn't look the way I was supposed to look because I had the wrong stuff in my suitcase. Here's another interesting thing. When you're born, you have a spirit. Well, we call it a spiritual suitcase. Everybody's born with one. And you're born with one because what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have these God encounters. From the beginning of birth, you're supposed to have these God encounters where you're able to put these moments with God, the tools and the things that you receive into your suitcase. But I don't know about you, but I was 9 years old before I ever sat in a Sunday school. And a week later, I got saved. But 9 years was a long time for the enemy to pack my suitcase. Just telling you. So I know about you guys. You guys, I know. We're trying to pack as much as we can in their suitcase. But there's going to come a point, guys, that I'm sorry there's not going to be any room at this altar for you. Because they're getting the understanding of why we need to bring our suitcase. Here's another thing that happened. Once I got saved, I became an adult. A couple years later, I became an adult. And then you know what I just did? I just wheeled my suitcase into church in and out. Just kept wheeling my suitcase in. I said, hi, how you doing today? Praise the Lord. Jesus is Lord. Yeah. And I sat there in the back with my suitcase, and you know what I did? I rolled it right out. No difference. No change. Yeah. See, upstairs in children's ministry, we call people on the carpet. So, let's talk about this suitcase. I'll grab my mic again in a moment. But I have a teacher's voice. You all can hear me? Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather not. Okay. So here's the interesting thing about my suitcase. I'm going to give you a little look at they have been waiting. I have sat there with it on my lap, opening it and closing it. And so they don't know. And right now they can probably see what's in it. Can you see? Can you see? You're like, it's red. It's red. It's red. Okay, so this is my spiritual suitcase, Jennifer Pimentel. I was Jennifer Goucher. But here's the interesting thing is that when I was born, I was actually given up for adoption from the word go. I was given up for adoption from the word go, so I was never cuddled by my mother. So the comfort that I was supposed to receive from the moment out of the womb, the love I was supposed to receive from God, from my mom who was anointed for it, I didn't get it. And then I had lots of those encounters I talked to you about. The enemy gave me a hold. Did you notice that the minute you start to unzip this thing, what happens? It starts to poof up. Oh, that's why we keep it closed in church. We keep it closed in church. I want anybody to see what's in there. No. All right, because you know what? Nobody else has a suitcase that looks like mine. Nobody else. But see, this is what we teach your kids. We teach your kids, why are mommy and daddy at the altar? Why are mommy and daddy crying? Why does Sister Jennifer, that's what they used to call me in my other church, Sister Jennifer, start in the back of the church, and then finally you see me up in the front of the church, and if you see any of these ladies, they seem like this. And you know what, for kids, that can be scary. Because you're their mom and dad. You're the strongest people. When my dad passed away, that was the strongest man I knew. So me seeing, okay, by the way, the reason we went to church is because my mom was a pastor's kid that was angry at God for years and years and years. And then I told her that I either went to go with a cute little Mormon girl across the street, or I went to go with a Catholic girl because she got a bridal gown. So I was going to church because I was either going to get the really fun things to do in the Mormons, or I was going to get the veil. And Mom sat there and said, I'm going to take you to a church, and I'm not going to stay, but I'm going to find a place that's safe for you to hear about God. And my mom wept and wept and wept. And I have to admit to you, I sat in the service looking at my mom, looking at all these people going, why do you want to come to church if Mom cries? I didn't see Mom cry. So we need to explain to your kids that it's good that you're up here. This isn't a bad thing. This is good that you're up here. So then the other thing is, this is my spiritual suitcase. So the first thing I ended up getting some rejection. That's what the enemy handed me from the moment. And here, you see how big it is? They're all, it's pillows. It's pillows. But the pillows actually represent the stuff that the enemy tries to fill us up full of. Okay? Because you notice they look big? I can use Ernest. Ernest, does that hurt you? It doesn't hurt you. So this means the rejection that the enemy handed me, told me I wasn't good enough, and I took and I believed it and I stuffed it in my suitcase, didn't have the power to harm me.
Come on.
It didn't have the power to harm me. But I was so worried about what everybody in church was going to think about me from a little girl. Because I hate to break it to you, but we started as kids. From the first moment you walk into class in kindergarten and you're scared to pieces, but you sit there like this. Because you want your teacher to be happy with you, but deep down inside you're like this. But we train ourselves to get somebody else to smile at me and be happy with me, so I will look the way you want me to look. But there's got to be a place for me to unpack this suitcase. Well, guess what? You're in a place to unpack your suitcase. You can wheel it in, you can wheel it out, or you can come in here. And like I told the kids, because I said, how many of you see me up here? And I said, I got to tell you, there's a reason I sit in the back, and anybody who really knows me, I would be happier in the back. Not necessarily in the front. But every Sunday, I have a convo with God. God, I need this. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about this. He always tells me, it may not be the same for you, but I'm going to tell you, I stand up here. I watch you guys who came up and experience the presence of God. Sometimes God requires you to get out of your seat, moms and dads, and you guys have been doing it. But I explained to the kids that you just coming up to unpack your suitcase. Come on. The rejection from that kid in 5th grade, that girl who talked all about you and said a bunch of stuff. That situation that where your siblings said, you're just, I hate to say this, but I've actually heard, you're just not even worth the air you breathe. Siblings can be rough. You got to come up to the front, you got to pack your suitcase. But here's the thing, there comes a point in time where you unpack your suitcase and then you're like, I got enough room for God to do some stuff. So I sit around, I've got a couple of these here. Let's see, what's this one? And so I come up and I've got some faith. I've been coming to church. I unpacked a couple things. All right, I can put that in there. Let me see. I got scripture on mercy. I got a little bit of an understanding of this. Mercy. I got some hope. Pastor Linda, she spoke at one thing. She said a couple things, and okay, I got some hope. I got lots of room. I need some grace. Because I got some serious stuff me and God are going to talk about. So great, I have an understanding of grace. I've got an understanding of hope and mercy, and thank God I have some faith. I can even go out with my suitcase, with these tools, and I can go out in the world and I can share some answers. And then we get to the point where we arrived. We're teaching children's ministry now. They trust me to teach their kids. Oh man. Let me see how much time I have to get in your business. Pastor Linda, when you come on up here, then you sit in the back. And Pastor Linda's up here hearing from God and worship's happening, and you getting everything. You got all that faith in 3rd row. You got hope in the 5th row. And then Linda says, let's see, is there some other stuff? I think there might be some stuff. Let's rummage through here. You say, what?
jealousy. Okay, toss that out. I'll put a word on some jealousy. Is there anything else in there? Some independence from God. I'm an adult Christian. I only need Jesus when it gets real bad. Let me toss that out. Oh, man. See, we have different things for the children, but we brought it up so some of you understand. Oh, yeeks. That one's a bad one. That one's, I'm angry at God, but I still smile. But I'm just going to hold this little thing that God can have everything except this thing, this deep thing, this place of how I feel about myself. So I think I'm angry at myself, but it's stopping me when I get angry at God. Okay, we got to get rid of that anymore? Oh man, okay, pull all those little ones out, pull all those little ones out. All right, so we got all those. Thank you, Pastor Linda. Thank you so much. We'll leave that one. So, that's great. So, man, we're just about done. We're just about done, right? So that's when Pastor Linda, or I say explain to the kids, that's when Pastor Linda, Pastor Ira, other people come up, and that's why they're laying hands on your mom and dad. Because there's hidden stuff all the way back from our childhood. It's not that we meant to be angry at God, but somewhere along the line, we believed a lie that we weren't worthy and we stopped loving ourselves. So she's got to come up, she's got to talk, and I explained to them about word of knowledge. But here's the coolest thing. This one was for you guys. Tuesday nights. I got my Tuesday night women here. God will call on Tuesday nights. What will happen is Pastor Aida has some. What does yours say, Pastor Aida?
Mine says, now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom.
Freedom. Okay, come on up. What do you have, Paula? Peace. Okay, so I'm bringing both these women up. These women are representing those that come on Tuesday nights.
Come on.
Because there comes a point in time that not only do you need to come unpack your baggage, not only do you need to get an understanding of these types of scriptures, but sometimes you don't even know what's the next part of your assignment and what you need to get to the next place. So what happens is on Tuesday night they walk the floors, they pray for you guys, they pray for your mom and dad. I am just now walking in things that women laid hands on me at 10, 11 years old, and it's just clicking in me. So what happens is these women and all of you who come on Tuesday nights, you pray, windows of heaven open, you get this knowledge and understand, and then you deposit it on the altar. Ladies, if you can put it on the altar. See, because we can have grace, we can have hope, we can have peace, we can have mercy, but if you want freedom, you have to get out of your seat, and you gotta do what you're not willing to do, and you gotta be willing to come and get the revelation of peace so that you don't ever believe that lie again. When the next person, next time you see your sibling, who still sometimes acts the same way, and you're sitting there going, but you don't understand. Right here before heaven they were singing, and I understood peace which surpasses all understanding. Oh, you have, because the enemy does the same type of stuff, right? Then you have a coworker who starts to talk a little bit like people talked to you when you were younger. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, I played that game before. I understand. Sometimes you got to come to the altar to find out what was deposited for you on Tuesday nights. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm not willing to roll in and roll out my suitcase anymore, because King David, when he was creating the temple, one of the specific things that I love that he said is, this is not a place for man to visit man. And as much as I love you and I say hello to you and I'm happy that you're here, David said, this is a place for God to visit man. So bring in your suitcases. When worship hits, get up here, unload it. Nobody's looking at you. We're fumbling through our own suitcase. All right? And now, your kids don't have any fear when you're getting hands laid on you, when you fall on the ground, when you're crying. They're getting an understanding that, you know what? When we go through people doing stuff to us at school, you know what? I can go up too. Thank you very much.